Hello everyone, it's Mr. Wolfe here, and in this video I'm going to be introducing LT1 using a model to determine inheritance. So what we're doing is we're going to be constructing a pedigree, right, a family history, and then from that family history we can make a Punnett square to determine the probability of two people having a child with a certain trait. So in this case we're talking about lactose intolerance, and lactose intolerance is autosomal recessive. Right? Autosomal just means that it's not on an X chromosome. It's on chromosomes 1 through 22. And if the trait's recessive, well, that means that lactose intolerance in this case is a recessive trait, that you have to have both alleles in order to have it. So really quickly, let's make a key. I said, okay, well, if it's a recessive trait, intolerance to lactose, then that's a little L. And then being tolerant to lactose, you can drink milk. That would be an uppercase L. That's a dominant trait. So let's look at our family history. Ali and Veronica are about to have a child, or Ali and Veronica. So I'm going to draw Ali right here and Veronica. If they're married or about to have a kid, we draw a horizontal line across. And his parents, and by the way, the squares are guys, circles are girls. Right? Ali and his parents are all lactose intolerant. So if you're lactose intolerant, if you're affected by the trait that we're talking about, that's when you get shaded in. All right. And to kind of make the key right here, I would have to have two recessive alleles, so little l, little l. If I'm a girl, again, since this is not an X-linked trait, little l, little l. So then if I have the dominant trait, I know that I at least have one dominant L, but I don't know if it's going to be the little L or the big L here. Okay. Ali and his parents are all lactose intolerant. Does it say anything about Ali having siblings? It doesn't look like it. All right. Veronica's brother Angel and father Jose. So it looks like Veronica does have a brother. So I'm gonna, before I draw any of the parents, I'm gonna draw everyone in this generation. So here's Veronica's brother Angel, and I'm gonna say that this is generation 2. It's the second generation. Their parents are gonna be the first generation. So they're siblings, all right? And notice that I don't have like a horizontal line for siblings. That means married. But if you kind of have the vertical lines going up and connecting them horizontally, that means that these two people come from the same parents. So this would be the father, this would be the mother. Right? And then it said that Ali's parents both have lactose intolerance. So I'm going to shade all those people in. And it says that, let's see, Ali and his parents are all lactose intolerant. Veronica's brother Angel and father Jose is not lactose intolerant. So I'm not going to shade them in. But their mother Elizabeth is. So let's shade her in. And then Jose is not. Their father. And this would be generation 1 up here. So now that I've made the family history, I can start to label their genotypes. And I know that just by looking at their phenotypes, if they're affected or not, right? If you're affected, well then you're going to have little l, little l. We know that automatically. That's the only way that you could express that recessive trait. But if you express the dominant trait, we know that you're going to be big L dash, because we don't know what your other allele is yet, but maybe we could figure it out with the rest of this. So if I'm looking at this pedigree, Veronica has the big L because she expresses lactose tolerance. Right? She has the dominant trait. But I want to ask, where did she get that L from? Right? It looks like she would have had to get it from her father, Jose. Right? There's no way that Elizabeth, her mother, could have ever passed down a big L to her. So that means that big L came from Jose, which means that the other allele had to come from her mother. And her mother could only pass down the little l to the left or the little to the right, but either way, she's passing down a little l. So we know Veronica is heterozygous. We know Veronica's heterozygous. So we know the same thing, by the way, for Veronica's brother Angel as well. All right? It's the exact same type of idea. Now, Jose, it's tough to know what his genotype is because we don't have enough information. Maybe if we knew more about Jose's parents or the rest of his family, we could figure out if he's big L or big L little l. But for now, we could just leave that blank or question mark, and that's okay. All right. Now, the good news is that our goal was to see the probability of Ali and Veronica having a child who's lactose intolerant, and we have their genotypes. So we could fill out this Punnett square now. We know that Veronica is heterozygous, that Ali is homozygous recessive. So now we just mix. That would be little l, little l, little l, little l, big L, little l. All right. And my possible genotypes are heterozygous and homozygous recessive. That means that this person would be lactose tolerant, and this person would be lactose intolerant. So then the genotype ratio, it looks like 50 or 1/2 of these squares would be heterozygous. So 1/2, 1/2. And it's the same thing with the phenotype, right? 1/2 is going to be tolerant if you have the dominant allele, and 1/2 or 50% is going to be lactose intolerant if they don't have, or sorry, if they have both recessive alleles. All right. So what are the chances of the new baby being lactose intolerant? In this case, it's going to be 50%. All right. For this video, I'm not going to go into the explanation right here. Make sure you check the key online to see what I wrote. And really what I'm looking for here is just that you are able to incorporate these terms in terms of explaining what's happening with the pedigree or with the Punnett square. The biggest goal is that you could use these terms within a sentence, and I know that you know them. All right, thanks for watching.